Welcome, beloved, to this edition of Here, Oh Yah, Is I Is or Is I Ain't. Your brother, Gidon Ben Yasharal. Where's all the childrens at? Hurry up and get them childrens. Where's Big Mama? Where's Pawpaw? Go out into the highways and the byways and bring all the kinfolk around the television set. Why? Because we have a special. That's right, we have a special program designed specifically with you in mind. But of course, the views and opinions expressed are those of me, a po-colored country boy, cotton picker, by way of Israel, and the panelists that Yah has set, but not those of Comcast, their management, advertisers, or affiliates. Brother Teruhu, if you want to come out here on the set, come on and don't be shy. Today's program title is, oh yes, there is a mature verbiage alert. You feel me? We talk about mature subject matter, and sometimes it just makes you want to cuss. However, today's program title is, oh, and by the way, we will not be here next week. I guess we got it too hot up in this piece, so every fifth Sunday of the month, we will be off. But that doesn't matter. While we here, we're going to make it do what it do. Today's program title is, drum roll please, get ready for this one, it's going to be hot. It is one word, jurisdiction. Jurisdiction. What do I mean by that? Let me first of all define this legal term. That's why turn your phones off. Jurisdiction. I have the Black's Law Dictionary, the 5th edition. Y'all know me, I like to go to the law with this thing, yin yang on this thing. And it speaks on this wise. The word is a term of large and comprehensive importance and embraces every kind of judicial action. It is the authority by which courts and judicial officers take cognizance of and decide cases. It exists when court has cognizance of class of case, involves property, parties are present, and point to be decided is within the court's powers. The power and authority of a court to hear and determine a judicial proceeding, the right and power of the court to adjudicate concerning subject matter in a given case. You know, jurisdiction is supremely important. And I want to reference how important jurisdiction is. Before I go to the script right here, let me bring in some case subject matter. Just so happened, fortunately and unfortunately, I happen to have been in a court proceeding just last week. Ew. And let me tell you, the issue in our courts today are system and procedures. The system itself and the procedures. And they are definitely predicated against you and I, the citizenry. It is understanding our rights in this corrupt legal system. It is very corrupt, and the legal system is used to keep us in slavery. I've got 2 young men on the set, and they don't realize, unfortunately, that the system of white supremacy is in full effect, and it's specifically in the courts themselves, which is supposed to adjudicate. But they have the symbol of this white woman who's blind, and we know she's looking through, under, around, whatever that blindfold is, and if you white, you right, and if you black, you gonna get back. The issue has to do, one of my discussions with a very prominent, let me just say, we have a common law marriage on this program between Comcast and WAOK. Why? Because I am an advocate, an avid listener and participant of WAOK 1380 AM, and obviously I'm right here on Comcast, Channel 25. Of course, we give respect to y'all, the management of Comcast that allows me. Of course, they're cutting a brother back, but that's all right. We're going to do what we do while we do. It is Mary Gill, the beautiful real estate 101 personality. She comes on Saturdays from 10 to 3. She comes on, no, I'm sorry, 12 to 3, because we have the Auto Insider that comes in, Brother Darrell Killian, that comes on right before her, and he's on from 10 to 12, and she comes on from 12 to 3. And Mary and I go way back in love, in relationship, in the beauty of our nationhood, but we also have controversial combat because of our different perspectives. But our conversation, even though she's real estate related, she has an open arena in one sense of discussions, and they allow that because Mary is versed in very different areas. This particular conversation began with our discussion on family issues and how in the so-called black, quote-unquote, Hebrew community that we chop each other up and chop each other down, and that's one of the reasons why I was in court. See, our families have turned on one another. We turn on one another because we don't know who the true enemy is in this country. The enemy, the true enemy is sin. It isn't necessarily a color factor because you have good and bad people with all hues, from all races. However, charity should start at home with folks that look like you, that have helped to support you and I, but yet what we find in the home is where the number one battleground is, because white supremacy has infiltrated the thought processes of those that are in the home to divide it so that they can maintain power, so that they can maintain what? Jurisdiction. I want you to make sure that that term is embedded in your mind, and as I have tried to explain it, the conversation will help to give more credence to this issue. Now, the one thing that Mary Gill has indicated in our discussions, which she wouldn't allow me to really elaborate too much on because they deal specifically with real estate, and one of the brothers, Brother Sinke, called in. We were on a three-way, and he said, why don't you let Brother Brother Gideon come down there and do a show with you? She said, well, I'm not going to do that because this show is about real estate. Well, guess what? I know a little about real estate. I just have a racial perspective about everything I talk about. As one brother called in, said, Brother Gideon, why do you have to make everything about race? Because it is. Because that's why our sons are being killed in the street. That's why a man doesn't have the authority over his own seed after it leaves his body, even though it's his. He doesn't have jurisdiction over it. See, the issue has to do with this particular point was brought out on one of the shows and during the news. Guess who is the highest paid person in America? You know who it is. It's the white man. The white man. He's the highest paid person in this country. But I bet you wouldn't guess who's number two. Yes, number two is the black so-called woman. That is a very interesting statistic. She is being paid just like the people that paid the police officer who killed Mike Brown. He was paid. Just like the other killer who killed Trayvon Martin. He was paid. Everybody that puts the so-called black man, the Hebrew man, the child of Yah, the true leader, and puts him under subservience to the white man is going to get what? paid. So the question is, why is it not just because our women are some of the most beautiful, intelligent, and powerful, but they are the closest to who? Leaders of the planet. The black so-called man, the Hebrew man, the leader of the spiritual world. That's why they're being paid. And the issue has to do with, once this information was revealed on WAOK 1380 AM, that the sister, the black woman, is second under the white man. The other relationship came out on Dr. F. Keith Slaughter, the movement. You know, I place my order with Dr. Slaughter whenever I can get in on him, you know, because he's a powerful, serious brother, soldier. Doesn't have anything to do about his Christian perspective. I know a soldier when I hear one. He ain't been shaped and molded and conformed to white supremacy, and he speaks from the spirit about our people and our condition. But this is the issue. The wealth gap between, see, I just indicated who's the number one highest paid after the white man is sisters. They're being paid to sell us out, to put us out, to take control of our children and turn them over to white supremacy through DFACs and other governmental entities. They've been paid to make sure that they define how the brothers should look, walk, act, talk. You understand? While they run around in miniskirts. Oh yeah, this was the thing in the court system. Nothing but women running that thing. Yin yang on the court system. When I was in there, it was a woman judge. They made you go to mediation. All of them were women. But they were dressed like they was in the club. Dresses so short, but they carried the authority of white supremacy in the court system. It is this issue of jurisdiction and what our women who are so beautiful that the white man, they think it's because they're beauty and the booty that they're being paid, but it's because they're being controlled through jurisdiction and the mindset of white supremacy so that they will turn on us, put us under the bridge, put it just like Brother Moore by the police. Po-po running in, no lights, no siren, on Metropolitan Highway. They see a brother walking across the street and knock him almost a city block, moving so fast because they don't care about us. Didn't Michael say that before they took him out? They don't care. They never have cared. But our women love white men. They love the trinkets and this poison crumbs that fall off his table. They love being able to live in the big houses that they've been allotted with. They love to tell the man to get out of here. Do what I told you to do. Fix my car. Go do this. I'm going to put you up out of here. But guess what? This thing going to get flipped before it's all said and done. This is the issue. Even though women who really run America, white women run America just like so-called black women run our house. They're running it because man has summarily been put to the side. Gap in average wealth. Once again, WAOK is 40,000. They've been paid to keep silent because even though the white man, guess who he bringing the money home to? Mama. And she running it through the children. Kitchen. Get a medium so-called black woman to the white man. $5 and $100. Remember now, the white woman, her wealth percentage is $40,000. Like, walk like, talk like white women, medium average wealth from $5 to $100, even though they looking like $1 million. Now, also, strong case I heard of 17 how him he's lost this trend of women coming to these organizations and join feminine fire. They have sided with the lesbos, with the, and they have us sissies doing what they do because the authority is obedience and not get the sexual deviant act. That rampant in we have lost. Over a man's own seed. Sperm, spermatozoa, and we have non-conditions because the body is moving and processing not. So when it plants the seed of Yah, and let them know, and they should have respect for fathers just like they worship them. But they've been to do that through this unjudicial system that's primitive. As a matter of fact, they've been on a men and send us as sperm banks to put sperm in the mentality, this feminist agenda. Last, to show you how we another brother in Mississippi, and because what are they telling you? Now, brother, tree, throw it, hang yourself. All you need believe. Oh, the white man already. So at this case that we're building has to do daughters have acquiesced to the white, the enslaved us so they can drive the businesses and everything else that white affords them. Now we got now to that shit. And the young blood that came in here, young blood. Come. That's now chapter pick it verse 9, because see, nobody is talking about for our sons. They're being thrown out, put out, unless of course they entertain and but get those games, they punk in the game and in there just like no is out. Stop that. Yeah, girl, go, girl. But when white supremacy pattern of judicial now, everything right, regular up in Isaiah, and it's yourselves, oh, you shall be there. Oh, and you shall be broken. For to me, that I should not people, Confederacy, y'all, and he shall be a sanctuary, but for a stone of stumbling of Yahshua and a inhabitants and the law I will me in Yah dwell unto that have for me to the dead on this. They speak according to night in pass through it and it shall come to pass be hungry they shall and their and look to the earth dim into told what she get each one of the princes into themselves be
chief of that. Um, One of my philosophies or one of my sayings is always solution. Violent time.
old man of go ahead
Uh, is we're working for a future, and that
jurisdiction. And we've seen our brothers that are the former officers. So what?
Future and who we are, and we take women back, and because we will actually be this system. We start to each have a goal. We know who we are. We won't just let that other system treat our people.
Up in
different jurisdictions. For nine in all this more than us, and because but once try plant that seed, you don't see work gonna be done.
Go ahead, my beloved.
And I love that they both true. Well, not civilized. We are the in the household. Even if we don't take it to take over from it was and we need to understand ourselves as to who we are, and
Absolutely. Oh, do we have that call? Let's and and that Brother Lateef. We can hear you as well. Of what it means.
On a very which is, I'll try to be very, uh, um, Summons that have a hint there. And even if and jurisdiction is who right to decide or interacting with the world. Now, you and I is this event or receiver note comes down because we're unprepared. And been into court system. Go court. Whatever procedures that just continue further. And that sounds like an option for etc. I'll no contender. Whatever the court decides, and do after jurisdiction and what you have just what means more. And some procedure court and a little period of time. That's the fact that bring those matters to it. About you in action with you if they want to bring maybe right and court like that. So you were wise enough, right? Legal minds.
what most I as a so no more, and when we just entangle or something, get some. Those jurisdictions, the first thing you want to know is what are my rights, okay? So that's my first comment on jurisdiction, is that you can either waive all your rights by not knowing if you understand tribunal.
They and Morehouse and it is a spiritual to my creator. But in the and not only God's law, to understand man coalitions involved occupy Atlanta for this mayor rights organizations meetings should go on and contact with attorney J.G. But we also have to the legal at 75 attorney has free admission. You and I for as it pertains to that. And how, first of all, how can people get in contact with you? Go to that venue, but still want to get information out in white supremacist.
Number one is in terms of which Reem or E, that word E is A, as in boy, E as in echo, Y as in 60.com.
Again,
it is A6 gmail.com. Effectively reach me 404. But most email message me using, okay? The second that I hear about this time putting together and paralegals and people, other groups that do have young attorney man to have be in every court. He can come in. I'm interested in being at 1 month so that I anticipate having right, because when you're going knowing the law of how or how the administration is handling these matters, okay? That's very, when I taught lay people, it's how to find the codes, then how to do the research and find the case laws, okay? And if we can empower people to do some of the fundamental things, for example, if you're brought in and they give you, you can go look at the code. And under et cetera, et cetera. That's true in part. To know where to find the code and how to start doing research on case law to support what you want to do.
Well, let me just say this because I want to get back to this panel. You know that the attention span of our youth is very limited. So we want to engage them and have them respond to this wealth of information that you've given us. And to the community who has been able to hear your wisdom, it is a valid point that you've made, and we definitely need to understand, understand our rights and begin to assert them, because it is a system that is against us, but yet we basically stand alone, specifically